So, personally, my gender identity is that of male. I use he, him pronouns. I'm not particularly attached to it. I used to be, unfortunately. I did go through like an alpha male phase whenever I was like 18. Embarrassingly, I would often for about a couple months. I had read somewhere that it was um, considered alpha to like always be the one in front when you're walking with your friend group. So I would intentionally try to do that for a while, and I ended up looking like an idiot, rightfully so. Um, but now it's more of convenience, really. Like I said, I'm not attached to it. I'm not offended if I'm referred to with other pronouns or anything. Um, I believe we should seek the outside of these categories. Um, but I am also a product of the society that I'm in and struggle to find, I guess, practical ways to do that, especially just as a lone individual. But I do think that that's a project very much worth um, looking into. I mean, I believe it's necessary to rethink how we relate to each other across the board, including through gender, if we were to uh, break with this current system and all of its accoutrement, um, or BS. Um, from an intersectional standpoint, um, I'm white. Um, I grew up lower working class, quite poor. That is really what kind of woke me up to a lot of the stuff that I'm very invested in now. I mean, I was 15 years old um, whenever my parents divorced. It was right before the 2008 financial crisis, and we were not good prior to that. And then the divorce plus the economy tanking um, didn't help. Um, so that's a big thing that's affected me. Um, I mean, I'm privileged and kind of scoot by on race and gender, and really sexuality. I mean, I am bisexual, but um, that's one of those things where it's mostly hidden, unless you are told by me or someone, or you see me engaging in bisexual activities. You don't really know that, so it's not something that I've faced a lot of um, discrimination for. I was working a job one time. It was a tree service. We cut down trees, trimmed them, chipped the brush, all that fun stuff. Um, and the people who worked there were primarily rural, male, conservative, not the most forward-thinking people. Um, and my stepbrother worked there, and he did tell everybody that I was bisexual. Um, and so I got some comments and looks and stuff like that for I don't know a couple weeks, but that was about it. Um, so yeah, uh, as far as how much I myself chose gender identity or my gender identity and how much of it was kind of organized for me. Um, last last year, it, beginning in the fall semester of last year, but I didn't finish it till spring. I read um, On the Reproduction of Capitalism by Louis Althusser. And in that, there was this thing or this concept. I'm sure other people have had the experience where like you never thought of it before, but once you encounter it, it seems like blaringly obvious, and you wonder how you never thought of it before. But it was his idea of interpolation and how ideology waits for you and it calls you. Um, Even before you're born. And I believe gender works like that. It interpolates you. It waits for you. And you're born into it. And then the family kind of exists to organize you around gender. But I mean, there's also, usually there's religion waiting for you. And then it's at 18, you become a legal subject. And you, as the subject that you are created without any say in it by the society. Um, it creates you as a subject in order to subject you to its requirements. And that's my general perspective on that and a lot of things. I'm very interested in, I guess you would call it ideology critique, though. Um, More of a Deleuze-Guattarian uh, quirk to it. Um, for the understanding of gender through a biological versus social perspective. Uh, I mean, I'm critical of this is going to sound cynical of science and the authority of science. I believe science can be used as an institution of power, just like everything else. I'm not saying that it always is, but really, I mean, I see science makes observations. It can say, hey, there is a difference here. I don't think it can justify going beyond that. Because of this difference, it should behave this way or be treated this way. I don't think it can make those types of claims. And I don't think it should make those types of claims. Um, but in the traditional view, it switching perspectives can be both liberating and limiting. I believe liberating in the sense that you understand that it doesn't have to be this way. It is a construct. There isn't some transcendent divine being ordering things like this, but it's limiting in that it reveals the limits. And you also get into the questions of how much of the imagined possibilities are constructed as well. Like how the term Mark Fisher used was the horizon of the imaginable. That's something else I believe that is kind of constructed and um, enabled by society. Um, so the possibility of escape, the ways you could even think of escaping, are also constructed and determined by these same material conditions that we exist in. And as far as the intersectional oppression that I've seen in my community of origin, I mean, I definitely see that like white men are viewed typically as like respectable, even like expectations that are put on you. Like I've had a lot of expectations to succeed financially significantly more than I have. But then you can see that the expectations for black men are lower. Um, you know, Also black men tend to be viewed more of as a threat. Um, and then white women historically are a more protected category. Um, Black women tend to be seen as open to exploitation more so than white women are. Sexuality can completely change the gender category that you're viewed as being a part of. Um, a man who is gay can be seen as more feminine Um, and it's this play between all of these constructed categories and whatnot. It's I can see the function of it. Um, Instituting a hierarchy where each individual benefits from upholding it can kind of blind them to the benefit of throwing the whole system out, the true benefit of being liberated from all of this. Um, but yeah, so thank you for your time.